The Christian life was meant to be boring. Like, I see a lot of Christians, have this fear and anxiety and almost existential dread that they're not doing enough to advance the kingdom of God. They're not doing enough to spread the gospel. And it turns into this self condemnation that somehow they're not worthy enough as a Christian, that they're not an effective Christian. Now, there are a lot of reasons why people can feel that way. There's a lot of factors at play. Part of it is that our society as a whole is overly bored and extremely entertained. And a lot of times we can feel like we're not really doing anything with our lives. And it doesn't help that a lot of ministries placate to this fear and anxiety and dread as a recruitment tool in order to get people to go on short term missions or help out at the church or give their tithe check. And we've kind of cultivated this groupthink within the Western church that if I'm not doing something big for Jesus, if I'm not dedicating every single second of my free time to doing something that advances the gospel, then I'm somehow ineffective. Or even worse, I'm a useless Christian. And the problem is really twofold. One, this kind of thinking actually prevents you from doing anything in the kingdom of God if it isn't loud and visible and big. And two, that's not exactly what the scriptures tell us to do. Paul would even say in 1 Timothy 2 that we should offer up prayers and supplications for kings and all those who are in authority so that we may lead a tranquil and quiet life in all godliness and dignity. Translation, we just want to live our lives. Like, think about it this way. How many epistles in the New Testament are written on how to have an effective outreach ministry? How many are written to have the most effective online ministry to reach as many people possible? Contrary to that, how many verses, how many commands do we find in the New Testament on how to love your neighbor, how to serve your wife, how to raise your kids, how to provide for the community, how to do your job, do the work that is before you as unto the Lord and not unto man? We do find commands like whether you eat or drink. Eating or drinking is just like a natural part of being human. It's something that we all do. And Paul says, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do everything for the glory of God. The point that I'm getting at here is that we can get so hung up on the explosive moments within the New Testament, like Acts 2 and some of the things that the apostles did, that we neglect that most of the Christian life is lived in the mundane. And I'm not immune to this mindset creeping in either, right? I've preached in Kenya, I've preached in Ecuador, I've played worship in Brazil. I have a moderately successful TikTok, if you want to call it that. I work for a Christian